Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Welcome, everyone. It's the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Bob Pompeani here, and we are talking sports until 11 o'clock tonight. Gene Collier will be here shortly. 412-575-2600 is the number to call. You can call us. You can tweet us at KDPomp, at Gene Collier, and we have a lot to talk about. Of course, beginning with the Steelers, a very big game this week. I would categorize it as a must-win because you don't want to go 0-3. The odds of trying to bounce back from 0-3 to get to a playoff, you might be able to get back to 500, but ultimately, in order to get to a playoff position, that would take a lot and a lot of help along the way. Plus, you'd leave yourself with very little margin for error. So I think this is a very big game against a good team. San Francisco has shown that they are better than you would have thought coming into this season. And they have the one thing that the Steelers have had problems with, and that is stopping tight ends over the middle. Even last week, Disley is a guy who nobody really knew about, a young second-year player for Seattle, but he represents a lot of what has gone wrong over the years to the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, not being able to cover, whether that's safeties, linebackers dropping into coverage, and Devin Bush had his hands full with that guy. So this week it's George Kittles, who's an even better and more accomplished tight end, who had 88 catches last year, 1,300 yards. It's going to be interesting to see what they do in matching up. And, of course, they have a pretty good offensive scheme there. Kyle Shanahan knows what he's doing from that point of view in game planning. The Steelers are going to come up with a big effort. They're going to need it defensively. And that's where Minkah Fitzpatrick fits in. The recent acquisition from the Miami Dolphins, this is a guy who can help them in that regard. He's very good in coverage. He was in college, certainly. We saw it in his first year with Miami. A lot of stuff goes into what happens on this game. There's not only that, but they have a healthy run game. And so far, San Francisco has believed in it, and they have certainly catered to it. Gene is in the building. Not only do we have a walk-off in time, this is a walk-on. We started early, Gene. Did you get the memo? You did not get the memo. So Gene will take his seat, suit up, and see, that's the reverse. We normally get the walk off. Tonight we have the walk on.
Well, there are obstacles all over the studio.
There are obstacles all over the studio, yes indeed. So Gene will get suited up, and we'll get your take on that. But in the meantime, you can call us at 412-575-2600. The Steelers, who are underdogs on the road to a team that has played well, coming off a demolition of Cincinnati. And I mean, they really demolished them. Prior to that, they went to Tampa. So 2 East Coast wins for a team from the West Coast. Can the Steelers reverse course and win on the West Coast? It's not been easy for them under the Mike Tomlin regime. Also a big game this coming Saturday. Pitt coming off that terrible decision by Pat Narduzzi at the end. And you know what? Given what's happened, especially with some of the stuff, with Vasquez, sadly that story unfolds. Antonio Brown, all the stuff that's going on. We haven't really talked too much about that call and the lingering effect it might have. They take on Central Florida this week. Gene Collier of the Post-Gazette, 93.7 fan. Oh, no, you aren't there yet, but you should be. You have your own comedy show.
Should be.
Yes, but Gene, Central Florida is a team that they're undefeated, and they just beat Stanford to a pulp. That's a pretty good win for them. So at one point, this line was, very close to being even, and now it's Central Florida by 12.5, giving Pitt 12.5 at Pitt. So that's a pretty stunning change of events. And this is a team that hasn't, they went through their undefeated season last year and claimed their own national championship. Did you like that, by the way?
Yeah, I kind of liked it.
I did too.
Central Florida, a really interesting case. First of all, a really good football team, but they've been grinding this axe now for 2 or 3 years. They play so angry, and that on top of how good they are, they've really gotten a lot of notice, and they're a very dangerous team. So any team's dangerous for Pitt, but this one's really dangerous.
All right, will there be a lingering effect? And I say that about what happened to that final call when they kicked the field goal. Listen, I got to believe, even though no one said publicly, members of that offense kind of had to be in disbelief that their head coach decided not to go for it. I think everyone, if you would probably poll that team offensively to a man, every one of them, would you agree, Gene, would have said, let's go for it. We're here. We're knocking on the door. Let's play to win this thing.
Sure, I didn't see the game on TV. I listened to the radio broadcast, but it seemed like just such a short distance to go, 4 plays to get it in there and tie the game. There was no, Narduzzi offered an explanation for it. It was not terribly logical in my view, but it really took the steam out of the Panthers. They made a great account of themselves to stay interested and throw the ball in the end zone on the final play. I mean, God bless them, but that had to take a lot out of them, I thought.
I believe it did, and we'll wonder what it's going to look like on Saturday when Central Florida comes here.
Right.
Back to the Steelers real quick. I categorized this when I started this tonight, Gene, as a must. Do you look at it as a must?
Well, yeah. I mean, teams that start 0-3, I think, make the playoffs 3% of the time.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Those numbers
Yeah.
indicate it's very difficult, so why make it very difficult? Win the game, and things change a lot, don't you think?
Well, no. But,
well, I mean, from their own perspective, they're 1-2 in it, potentially still.
It's hard to figure out how the Steelers feel about themselves right now. I mean, I thought they played a terrible game at home on Sunday, but they were still in a position to win it. So maybe they're taking some of that, but this is a crushing thing with Ben Roethlisberger, obviously. So I'm not going to pretend to know how they feel about things. They'll always say the right things. Season isn't over. Don't give up on us. All that stuff. We'll see.
We'll see, and you'll see the game on KDK 425. We got a good doubleheader too on Sunday, by the way, on KDK and CBS. The first game will be Baltimore at Kansas City.
Yeah.
Two good young quarterbacks going head-to-head, and that should be fun. Follow that up with this Steelers 49ers, and then afterwards make the switch here to Pittsburgh CW. We'll be on there for 2 hours debating all of this stuff. 2 hours.
Wow.
And then more at 10:35, so 2.5 hours. Wow. How about that, Gene? We're going to take a break. We need oxygen right now and potentially a drink of water. 412-575-2600. That's the number to call. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call right here on Pittsburgh CW. The Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call is brought to you by Ireland Contracting, celebrating 25 years as Pittsburgh's #1 home exterior expert in roofing, siding, windows, and gutters, where honesty and integrity still matter.